Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. It's a beautiful little box and it's got a lovely magnet close and inside 2 jumbo tea lights. Mine are a little bit battered. I have an inspiration drawer. Actually, I have a whole inspiration chest of drawers and one of them is just full of candles and they've got a little bit battered. But you get the idea. These ones have come from IKEA. You can get jumbo tea lights. Certainly in the UK, they are simple enough to come by in supermarkets, Wilko's, places like that. Probably even pound stores. Overseas, I know that when I've done these before, my Australian friends who comment and follow have left places where you can get them. I'm sorry, I can't remember. So if you want to leave a comment here for your other Australian and New Zealander buddies, please feel free to leave a comment in here saying where you've seen them or where you can get them. That would be so helpful for other people. But like I say, these are IKEA. IKEA seems to be available to everybody. I've got red ones this time, only because that's the other ones that left. I do burn the candles in my inspiration drawer, but I wanted to do 2 more. Slightly less battered on the actual tin, very battered on the inside. Anyway, so I'm using a piece of cardstock that is 7 by 6¼ inches, 18 by 16 centimetres. I went with the Sahara Sand on this one, which is one of the colours in the background. I'm using the same paper that I did before, but I'm bringing in the mint macaron, which is, there you go, there's some mint macaron. And I'm going to detail it very slightly differently, but you know me, I like to do different variations. So 7 by 6¼ 18 by 16 centimetres. On the long side, score it at 2 3/8 of an inch. Oh, 2 3/8 of an inch, 3 1/8 of an inch, 5 1/2 and 6 1/4 inches, which in metric is 6, 8, 14, 16. Turn it round, doesn't matter which way, but score it at 3/4 of an inch and 5 1/2, which in metric is 2 and 14. Okay, so fold and burnish your score lines. It's a nice sturdy box, this one, and I'm trying to think what the measurements are when it's finished. I will get them written down and on my blog. So it's going to fold up and fold round like that, so we need to get rid of a couple of parts. So if I open this out and put it across here for you, it's those 2 squares in the top corners. You need to get rid of those. So that's the first thing to do. So cut a nice neat straight line there. That's one gone. And then ditch that one as well. So that's the top of the box that we've created. This little section here, so we've got another square down here. Cut straight down the rectangle on either side, which if I left it like that and then folded it up, you'd get a bit sticking out. Can you see that? So that's the reason why I say to wedge in. And sometimes people say to me, which side of the score line do you go? I'm cutting the score line away. Can you see that it's a little bit lumpy there? So I'm just getting rid of that bit. So therefore, when I now close it up, there's no extra bit sticking out. There you go. I hope I've explained that before. I think I have. But I've suddenly thought now while I was filming, let's explain the reasoning why. Let's show what happens when you don't. So, okay. Right. Before I put this together, there's a lot of DSP going on here. As you can see, it's on the top, the front of the lip, that front, that back, 2 sides. So I've got all my bits ready. So don't panic about writing them down or anything like that. It's all over on my blog. I have got a little rounded corner here at the top, so I'm going to round that and then I'm going to round the matching part. That's a bit better. So we've got 2 long thin parts, we've got 2 wide parts and 2 short thin parts. So 4 1/2 by 2 1/8, 11 1/2 by 5 1/2 centimetres, 4 1/2 by 1/2 inch, 11.5 by 1.5 centimetres. These two over here, 2.5 by half an inch, 5.5 by 1.5 centimetres. So it's one of these that's going to sit on there, and the other one's going to sit there. So we need to round the corners. Now this isn't as easy to do, so you just take a few minutes or a few seconds to make sure everything is lined up, because you've got nothing to rest against, because it wants to come all the way through. So just do take a few extra seconds just to make sure you're all lined up neatly. There we go. So, as I said, this one's going to marry up and match up on here. I wonder what this would have looked like with Island Indigo cardstock, perhaps. Or maybe Blushing Bride. You see, there's so many colours in it. We also want the one next to it. This one we're going to miss out because that's actually the bottom of the box. Let me put the backs on first, because I need to fold it up to show you where to put the side panels. So that's the back, and this one will come on the front. That's going to come over here. Look at that, it's covered up my jumped score line. So this part is all going to wrap round. That's going to come over, but these bits, because they're your front, they're going to wrap over there. So therefore, those are the ones we want to stick the side panels to. So not next to this one, up there next to those ones. If in doubt, build the box, then stick on afterwards. But there's quite a lot, so I found it easier just to stick on. Oh, I've got the measurements wrong. What should that be? Have I got that measurement wrong? So if it's 2 and... Oh, I know what I've done. So it is... I'm trying to see this and the light's reflecting. 2 1/4. It's 2 3/8. It should be 2 1/8. So, but I've made it 2 1/2, haven't I? So I've got quite a bit to chop off. Let's come in and write up my notes again. Correct them. Always have a handy pair of scissors with you. Right, let's correct the notes. 2 1/8. So that's going to, yeah, that should be right in metric. Metric should be okay. I will check. Right, so let's get this stuck together before I stick myself to it. A little bit of adhesive on the inside little tabs, and then on these panels that we've just mucked about with. That's the front. So these ones fold up and stick round, and this one, and then these are going to come over and stick down as well. There we go. And so before I put my candles in, I want to get my little magnet closure going on. So these are neodymium magnets. They are 8 millimeters by 1 millimeter. They are crazy strong. Love doing that. Super, super strong. And as a result of that, look, oh, they've just let go of me. It's all trying to stick to me. Because they're so very strong, we're going to take some of the weight out of this, or some of the strength out, by putting these little circles here. And also it's better for aesthetics. So these are the bits that I chopped off before. There's one. There's another. And we like things that are aesthetically pleasing, don't we? If you're going to put something in here that's not candle, or you're going to be giving it to a child, don't put magnets on it. You know, use Velcro buttons or something like that. Or if you don't want to use magnets, use Velcro buttons anyway. But if you're going to use Velcro buttons, open and close and open and close and open and close quite a few times before you actually put
them on your project. I made that mistake quite a few years ago before I joined Stampin' Up, and I made all these beautiful projects. They were post-it pouches with Velcro coins. I went to open them, and the sticky, the hook and eye sort of system was so new that it ripped. They stayed stuck together, and it actually tore it off all my beautiful post-it note pouches, and I was devastated. So yeah, not happy. Oh, sorry, what I did then was, because your magnets have got a positive and a negative, let me grab another one. I've got my magnet down, my first one down, in the place I want it to be, and the punch circle on top. And you need to put your next magnet on top of that to make sure you've got the positive and negative. Pop a glue dot on it, and then just gently push it into place, and then that means the other half of your magnet pairing will be in the right place. So I'm just going to squish it on quite firmly. Another glue dot, another little circle. I'm going to call them coins, and then that will snap together just nicely. So let's get my giant tea lights in there. Love it. And I'm going to finish off with a little bit of stamping. So I've just got 2 scraps of cardstock, Whisper White, measuring 2.5 by 1.5, and this is 2 3/4 by 1. So in metric, what's that going to be? 6.5 by 2, so that's going to be 7 by 2.5. And I've got, obviously, you know, it's Blooms and Bliss paper. Let's go for Blooms and Wishes stamp set. I'm going to go with Best Wishes again. It's a great set, it's a great sentiment, it's easy peasy, and I have got the Island Indigo out. I'm going to make a confession. I actually think the Sahara Sand colourway is better, but I'm giving you an example what it would look like with mint macaron. Not my favourite. And I want this wispy one here. And I've got some Sahara Sand, so I'm just making everything kind of a bit backwards, just to get a little image reflected on there as well. But yeah, I'm going to have to say it, yeah, I do think Sahara Sand one, the one for me. Or maybe mint macaron would look different, possibly better, if it was with the very blue dominant paper. I'm not sure, but you know, we never know what it will look like until we've made it. Let's pop that in the middle, and then I've got some linen thread off here. So I'm going to tie a bow. The linen thread gets a kink in it, so run your bone folder over it, or if you've got, like me, you've got long nails, grip quite hard and you're doing sort of a stretch motion just to take that kink out, really. Little bow, very sweet. And then grab a glue dot, and what you need to do is sort of turn it into a small ball of glue so you can hide it away. On there, up in a corner, double jumbo tea light box made. What do you think? I hope you like it. Like I say, not sure about the mint macaron one. I think I prefer this one, but the possibilities are endless, really. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.